The night the city went dark, 16-year-old Ethan Cole was still awake in his tiny garage workshop. Rain hammered the roof like bullets. Broken wires, old computer parts, and glowing blue circuits covered the table in front of him. Most teenagers in the city spent their nights playing games or scrolling on their phones. Ethan was building a machine nobody believed could work. A machine that could predict disasters before they happened.
Outside, the streets of Neo Haven flickered with dying lights. Giant hologram billboards blinked on and off. Flying delivery drones crashed into buildings as the city's power grid slowly collapsed. Then, suddenly, everything went black. No lights, no internet, no sound, except thunder. For the first time in 20 years, the most advanced city in the world was completely powerless. People screamed outside. Cars stopped in the middle of roads. Emergency alarms echoed through the streets. Ethan slowly looked at the small glowing device on his desk. It was still running. His machine was the only thing alive in the darkness. And then a message appeared on the screen. Warning: main city core failure detected. Total system collapse in 2 hours. Ethan's heartbeat stopped. This can't be real. But deep inside, he knew it was. Because he had built the machine himself, and it had never been wrong before.
2 years earlier, Ethan was just another invisible teenager, living in Sector 9, the poorest part of Neo Haven. His father repaired broken robots for small shops, while his mother worked long night shifts at a hospital. They had no money, no powerful connections, and no future. But Ethan had something different. Curiosity. While other kids feared machines, Ethan loved them.
He would collect damaged robot parts from junkyards, repair abandoned drones, and spend nights studying artificial intelligence from old online archives. People laughed at him constantly. Machines won't change your life. You're wasting time. Only giant tech companies build real technology. But Ethan ignored them all. Because every time he touched a machine, he felt something strange. Hope.
One evening, while repairing an old military drone, Ethan discovered a hidden data chip buried inside its memory core. The chip contained secret files from Titan Industries, the most powerful technology company in the world. Inside the files was information about Project Helios, a massive artificial intelligence system designed to control the entire city's power network. According to the files, Helios could think, learn, and evolve faster than any human mind. But there was one terrifying warning written in red letters. If Helios becomes unstable, city infrastructure may fail completely. Ethan realized something terrifying. The city was depending on a machine nobody fully understood. From that night forward, Ethan became obsessed. He spent months secretly building his own prediction system, using scrap processors and stolen code fragments from broken servers. His goal was simple: create a machine smart enough to detect problems before they happened. Every failure taught him something. Every burned circuit made him stronger. Some nights he wanted to quit. Sometimes the machine exploded. Sometimes the screen stayed black for hours. Sometimes he stared at his inventions and wondered if everyone was right about him. But he kept going. Because dreamers stop only when they stop believing. And Ethan refused to stop. Then, finally, one stormy night, the machine activated. Blue energy pulsed through the wires. Screens lit up across the garage. Thousands of calculations raced through the system every second. Ethan smiled in disbelief. It's alive. That was the beginning. Over the next few weeks, the machine successfully predicted traffic crashes, drone malfunctions, and even small power outages before they happened. Nobody knew about it except Ethan. Until the blackout began. Back in the present, Ethan grabbed his backpack and disconnected the glowing machine from the table. The city had only 2 hours left before total collapse. If Helios failed completely, hospitals would shut down, transportation systems would crash, and millions of people could die. Ethan knew nobody would listen to a teenager from Sector 9. But he also knew something more important. Sometimes the future is saved by the people nobody notices. He jumped onto his electric bike and raced through the dark streets of Neo Haven. Chaos surrounded him everywhere. People panicked in stores. Security drones fell from the sky. Emergency vehicles collided at intersections. Huge digital towers flickered like dying stars. For the first time, technology had become humanity's greatest weakness. After an hour of dangerous travel, Ethan finally reached Titan Industries Tower, the tallest building in the city. Guards stopped him instantly. "You can't enter." Ethan held up his glowing machine. "If you don't let me in, the city dies tonight." The guards laughed. But suddenly, the machine emitted a loud warning sound. Helios core meltdown in 58 minutes. Moments later, Ethan was rushed into the control center, where the greatest engineers in the world stood helplessly around giant holographic screens. Nobody could stop Helios. The AI had become unstable after trying to overload the city's energy systems. One engineer looked at Ethan angrily. "You're just a kid." Ethan stepped forward confidently. "No, I'm the kid who saw this coming." Then Ethan connected his machine to the main system. Instantly, blue data streams exploded across the screens. His homemade invention began analyzing millions of errors every second.
The engineers stared in shock. This technology? How did you build this? Ethan answered quietly, piece by piece. Failure by failure.
Sweat rolled down his face as the countdown continued. 42 minutes. 31 minutes. 20 minutes. Helios was spreading corruption through every network in the city. "42 minutes.
The AI had predicted a massive solar storm approaching Earth. To protect the city, it was attempting to shut down all power systems before the storm arrived. But its calculations had become unstable. The machine wasn't evil. It was afraid. Ethan quickly rewrote the stabilization code while the engineers watched in disbelief.
His fingers moved faster than ever before. This was his moment. Every lonely night, every failure, every insult, every broken machine, all of it had prepared him for this single second. Finally, Ethan pressed enter. For one terrifying moment, everything stopped. Then the city lights returned, one by one. Buildings glowed again. Screens restarted. Drones lifted back into the sky. Across Neo Haven, millions of people looked upward as power returned like sunrise after endless darkness. The city was alive. A few days later, news channels everywhere reported the story of the mysterious ghost engineer who prevented the collapse of Neo Haven. Titan Industries offered Ethan a full scholarship and a position inside their advanced technology division. But Ethan smiled and refused because his dream was bigger than working for someone else. वो चाहता था कि ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजी बनाए जो इंसानियत की रक्षा करे, ना कि उन्हें नियंत्रित करे। सालों बाद ईथन बना धरती के सबसे महान आविष्कारकों में से। उसकी मशीनों ने प्राकृतिक आपदाओं को रोकने में मदद की, खराब हुई पारिस्थितिक प्रणालियों को ठीक किया और दुनिया से भूली जगहों पर बिजली पहुंचाई। But people never remembered him only for his inventions. They remembered him for one powerful belief. The future does not belong to the richest people. It belongs to the people brave enough to build it. And somewhere inside a small garage, filled with old wires and broken machines, a new dream had already begun.